And good evening. Welcome to the Deltahead stream. I am James Howell, and tonight we are doing part 9, what I suspect will be the final part, of Resident Evil 4 Remake. Probably would take another 2 or 3 streams at the current pace I've been going. Well, at the pace I've been going, had I not bought the Infinite Rocket Launcher at the end of last stream to kind of speed things up. Even if I hadn't had a couple of weeks break due to life interruptions of the stream schedule, we would still have been playing this game for about 2 months, which is, I think, the only other game that I played that many episodes on stream was Resident Evil 8, Resident Evil Village. And that was back when I was going longer than 2 hours a stream. So that Village of Shadows run, whew, spicy. But, excuse me. So, yeah, evening, Shogi. It's good to see you. I was thinking about you as I was getting the stream set up because you mentioned that you regretted missing a look at an obscure movie, and I don't believe I had one last stream, but I got a treat for you, my friend. You are going to enjoy this. But first, books I've been reading. I finished Song of Achilles. There we go. Very good. And I think that it's really interesting. The part of this story where it starts to overlap and catch up with the Iliad, a lot of it is about the development of Achilles and Patroclus's relationship prior to the war in Troy. And it's really interesting. Maybe it's because I'm familiar with the Iliad and I know how all that goes. But as soon as they hit the shores of Troy, the book just sped up. I think I read everything that took place at Troy. I think I read it maybe like 5 times the speed as everything else. It just flew by, and it is it's a great revisiting of that story. It's really cool to see it from Patroclus's point of view, somebody who's been humanized, and somebody who can, to some extent, humanize the inhumanly angry Achilles through love. And so, yeah, it's very clever. It's also really interesting to see which aspects of the Achilles legend Madeline Miller chooses to incorporate in her story, because there are, of course, many different versions of Achilles' tale. The most famous one, of course, being the Achilles heel, which she actually chooses not to integrate, and I think that's a fine thing to do for this story. I think somebody described this to me as Homer fan fiction, and I have feelings about that from a number of points of view. One, I mean, these are sort of culturally inherited stories that writers and poets and playwrights from that era used as a motif, and then they use that to build their themes. And that is just how these stories are used, right? So it's similar in a way that Shakespeare took a lot of pre-existing stories and used those to explore his themes. Madeline Miller is using the motif of Achilles and Patroclus and the war in Troy to explore hers. And it's really silly to me to see that sort of thing described as fan fiction, because it seems to misunderstand fan fiction and also misunderstand how stories, especially around these shared tales, get told. So it's interesting. It's a great book. I recommend it, and so apparently do many. It's a New York Times bestseller. It's very good. The next one I picked up. This was assigned to me in school back in 2003. I believe I checked. That's when I usually write the years that I buy books. And it's titled Donald Duck. It's about the Chinese and Chinese American community in San Francisco, I believe. It's a very quick read. It's very accessibly written. I believe it was assigned to me alongside Huckleberry Finn for reasons I cannot remember, and hope to recover as I read through it. Clearly, I didn't read everything I was supposed to in the class, as happens, But this is good. It's by Frank Chin. But beyond that, so before we hop into the stream, let's see if I can time box this to 10 minutes. Let's see if that can happen. I want to talk to you about one of El Santo's final movies, Mystery of the Bermudas, Misterio and las Bermudas. I think that's how you say that. And this is a doozy, let me tell you. So, yeah, evening, Dan. It's good to see you. Yeah, the Song of Achilles is good. It's worth reading, especially if you're familiar with the Iliad. I have had the good fortune to have reread the Iliad within the past 2 or 3 years, so it's fairly fresh in my brain. It helps that I already knew what it contained, and then refamiliarizing myself with that. I read parts of it, went through an audiobook of the rest of it, and it's interesting. The audiobook, doing it by audiobook has a sort of authenticity to it because these songs were not always read. This was a poem, right? A poem to be sung, and not necessarily something to be encountered as a book. So that has its own value there. But something that yeah. So Misterio and Las Bermudas. This is wonderful. So this is one of El Santo's final films. It is a collaborative film starring the trio, the legendary trio of El Santo, Blue Demon, and Mil Mascaras. And let's just jump into what this is. Sorry, let me catch up here. Oh wow. I mean, Unicode is fascinating, right? It's the same. It's interesting. These Homer and the Homeric stories and Unicode are both at the heart of so much of what we do on a daily basis, even if people, especially if people aren't aware of it. I don't think the parallels are misguided. All right, Dan. I'm recording this locally, so if your internet hiccups or if Twitch is hiccuping, then I'll upload the VOD to for a cleaner watch. So yeah, so this takes place, of course, in the Bermuda Triangle. We all know it's a weird place where things happen, and it sort of opens with the emergence of this device, which I maybe kind of a spotlight. Usually I'm okay. I'm kind of decent at sort of picking out what parts were used for these sorts of props, but I actually can't identify what these things are because I assume that whatever object or objects this was made from were polished chrome to begin with. But so yeah, so the idea is that this thing emerges from the water. This causes disturbance in nature. The birds get freaked out. So do the rays. The storms get all upheavally, the lightning strikes, and then we see a plane. This plane isn't really followed up on, so I am assuming that it means that the plane disappears, as things do over Bermuda. Unicode seems like the kind of thing that you could make a compelling drama about. I mean, there are so many players involved with it and so much history that I think you could do something neat with it. And so then after that, we sort of piece out from the Bermuda bit, from the Bermuda Triangle bit, and go to a couple of fishermen. So the narrative structure of this movie is kind of a bookend and kind of lucid associative, because the Bermuda happening, the sort of spiriting away of the airplane, it's unclear. The same sorts of things happen in the past, but maybe that's in the present or the future. Anyway, so we cut to the first bookend, which is these fishermen, and they are going fishing, and one of them catches something particularly strange, which is El Santo's mask, which then prompts the elder fisherman to go into a story. So the entire movie is flashback. And the flashback immediately starts with a three-man tag team match with El Santo, Blue Demon, and Mil Mascaras on the same team, which is just fantastic. It's not here just for show. They go to falls. You get to see both rounds, and you even get to see, honestly. So having watched several of these, and I love Blue Demon's flying cross chop. It is one of my favorite moves of his, and this has maybe one of the best Oh, this is the first Sento movie that maybe in color that I've analyzed. There were several others prior to this. This has one of the best sort of like visuals of this as a linear thing. So here he's bouncing off the ropes, running, jumping, clobber, boom! It's so good. It's good in freeze frame, and it's even better in action. So I recommend it. Actually, so this movie is on YouTube. I will give you a link to it once we're done with this. Klingon to the Unicode standard. I mean, I believe it. I believe it. I mean, I was around for the Usenet. I know how deep nerds will go in arguing. And guilty as charged on that. Back in the day. But so yeah, this is something that it's just I love seeing these three just hang out. It's one of my favorite things in these movies is watching these three guys just hang out in mask and in dad gear, and it's just it warms my heart. And so here they are, they're hanging out, and they walk back in and have a stern look at the radio, where they get a distress call. They hear somebody calling a distress signal. I don't know how many of these were made in color, actually. I am, as you can tell, I'm on my way to finding out. So they naturally go out to answer the distress call, and it turns out this guy has been affected by the Bermuda Triangle sort of monkey business going on out there, and is in danger because now there's a shark, which, in addition to being a shark, which in a movie means a threat, it's also been riled up by the Bermuda Triangle science-y thing. So then it cuts from the shark to this guy swimming in the water with a blood trail, and you're kind of like, I think the idea is like, oh no, is this like in Jaws where he like tugs at the leg and the leg is gone, and is he about to go down? But no, from the blood emerges Blue Demon. And then Mil Mascaras and Santo to rescue him. So the three luchadors answered the distress call, drove out to the coordinates, dove into the water, and killed a shark with wrestling. And I'm deeply frustrated that we didn't get to see it. And I don't want to see a shark die. But in one of these movies, we did get to see El Santo ground a plane with a submission hold. And that it's just the fact that you can use wrestling to solve this many problems is just it's an aspect of this universe that I love. Evening Taco, it's great to see you. Oh yeah, no, the colors in these movies are just popping vibrant. I love them. I do not see the only other place that I see this many sort of like colors in one place in one scene are honestly a lot of Japanese video games, which are sort of they have a particular colorful the colorfulness of Japanese video games feels like a very characteristic thing, and these movies have their own version of that. Oh yeah, no, the mask also has the added benefit of the characters never truly age. You can see how when you have supporting actors in these movies appear over and over again over the course of a decade, you get to see them age, their physiques change, the lines in the face and everything. But the characters, these guys stay the same, in large part because physically they're always active, that's their work, so they stay roughly in the same shape, but also their faces never age because it's always the mask. I mean, honestly, well, actually, funny you should ask that question because the ending of this, who buddy. So this is a great sequence. So there are two plots happening in this movie, and they kind of intersect at one point. And I don't have a copy of this that's subtitled. So I'm going off the Japanese, off the Spanish that I know, and I can tell a little bit of what's happening. There is the daughter of an Iranian ambassador who is going to be coming to this place, and there is a group of criminals who want to assassinate her. So that's one plot. Then there's not Atlantis. Then there's the Bermuda science-y stuff, which seems to be its own contained story. And these two things overlap at a certain point, but it's really unclear to me how. However, that doesn't stop... Well, one thing that they have in common is luchadors. Never seen so many masks near a giant body of water. That's a statement I've literally never heard anybody say or write. Good job. But yeah, so yeah, no, it's great. It gives it a timeless quality, and actually, I think that this, in addition to the talent and performance skill of the wrestlers themselves, I think that sort of timeless quality in these performances actually helps to make these characters legendary, to give that sort of legendary, larger than life quality to the luchadors. But this is one instance. So this is a great scene. This is great. So Mil Mascaras walking down the docks, kind of looking at the fish, carrying his 2 bags of groceries. It's unclear where he's coming from or where he's going, because presumably a dock, unless it's like a boardwalk, which it could be, presumably a dock ends at water, so it's unclear which, I mean, it must be a boardwalk in that case. So he's walking along carrying his groceries, and he's accosted by 3 guys who are, this is on Team Criminal. So he just throws his groceries at one of them. Throws his groceries in his face. And then he goes through he basically uses his signature Mil Mascaras moves to throw these guys in the water. He's got his great throws. He's got a good high kick. He uses the momentum of one enemy who's got him in a pinhold to throw another one over the water. It's great. And these are the criminals in their home base. Oh my, that sounds uniquely unpleasant. Very, very unpleasant. I'm glad I played Spider-Man under better circumstances. Okay, so this guy here, the bald fellow. Now this guy shows up in a lot of these movies as a sort of arch villain. Not the character. He doesn't play the same character, but the same actor does. And this is actually a neat way in which a lot of these movies overlap with many of the Japanese noir movies, where you do have the same actors playing the same character types over and over again. And so kind of the strategy that the criminals seem to have is there are these 3 women who I think are supposed to be sort of femme fatale characters, and they're like, okay, go like date the luchadors and get information from them on the location of the Iranian princess. This leads to, so all of this that has come before leads to one of the strangest 3 minutes in a movie I think I've ever seen. And excluding something that is deliberately surrealistic like David Lynch. So, I mean, I'm going to... You need to see this for yourself, but I'll walk you through the slides. It starts with about 15 seconds of silent weightlifting. There is no soundtrack. You hear the machines clatter and clink as Blue Demon, Santo, and Mil Mascaras are working out. Then it cuts to their girlfriends waiting on them, which it becomes apparent is in a high school gymnasium. So the luchadors have gone to a high school's gym to work out and asked their girlfriends to wait for them in the gym. They are then attacked by the criminals, who the women are working for, so it's unclear why now they're attacking them in person. But anyway, so this fist fight breaks out in this high school gym, and the luchadors, of course, take the day. You sock it to them, LFH score. The sort of like pep rally posters are still up. So after this happens, then these guys appear out of nowhere. Like they beam in, like using Gen 1 Star Trek beam in technology. So they're in these silver suits and they beam in, and they kidnap one of the women, and it's, of course, damsel in distress. So, but they don't beam out. They get in a car. And they drive away, and they drive to the beach, and then they get in a boat and go. And this whole thing raises so many questions that, I mean, maybe it's the fact that I don't 100% understand the dialogue, but even in movies of these where I have understood the dialogue, this doesn't necessarily need to have a lot of connecting threads. Yes, no, it's like Star Trek, right? Star Trek. So let's go back. So here we are, fist fight, cut to the door, beam in, Spock and Kirk, they beam in, and then they grab, they kidnap one of the women, and then they get into a car, And the luchadors are, of course, chasing them this whole time. The criminals are no longer of interest. And then they take her in a boat. And this storyline is then wrapped up where she's actually repatriated into this Atlantan science civilization, which takes place on someone's lawn in a weird brutalist architecture apartment complex. And so, because this is that other plot. This is the little thing coming up out of the water and ruining the nature. These are the people doing that, and they're not connected to the criminals. And so her storyline starts with the criminals and ends here, and that's just it. And yeah, that's her dad. It's like the dad was like, all right, you've run into a bad crowd, time to come home. And so then we finally get to the daughter of the Iranian ambassador, which is very, so you see her coming off of an airplane, you see her befriending the luchadors, you see her giving a karate demonstration. She then fends off an attack from the criminals, and then that thread wraps up. And the luchadors have done their work. You know, they fended off a bunch of mooks while she was fighting the big boss. And then everybody's happy. They get on a boat and they're going out to sea. I don't know where. And this is where, again, Dan, I believe it was Dan. Yes, what hasn't been killed with wrestling in these films. Now, this isn't with wrestling, but in a sense it might be. Let's see, there we go. So they wave goodbye, right? Little thing pops out of the ocean. Beep. Stormy seas. Then we cut to the boat and no one's on it. Were they spirited away? Were they killed? Nobody knows. It's what happens in the Bermuda Triangle. But this disappearance is what leads, logically, next to the first event in the movie, which is finding the El Santo mask. So presumably, Santo is either underwater and unmasked, which is a particular kind of destruction, since that's his identity, or he died, and his mask is all that's left of him. Either way, you think, like, oh, wow, that's kind of a dark ending. But, oh, no, it didn't include the slides! Oh, okay, well, then I'll just have to narrate for you what happened. So then it cuts back to the fisherman, sitting on the dock, and they the guy telling the story basically says, yeah, and they were never heard from again. This is definitely a sign of the apocalypse. The end times are upon us. Cut to an atomic bomb exploding and a mushroom cloud on the horizon. End. And it's like, I did not expect a luchador film to end on a tone of like atomic nihilism, where our heroes are killed, ? By evil scientists. And their disappearance has now heralded in the apocalypse, which the movie reinforces by showing the first signs of nuclear war. And it's astounding. It is deeply unexpected. I will tell you that. And what I will do for you, because I believe Stereo en las Bermudas Película Completa, I will link you to the entire movie. Right there. Do yourself a favor, watch it. It's a great hour and 15 minutes. I hope that El Santo Martial Arts will survive the end times. It is entirely possible that maybe he has traded in another mask, right? Maybe he's upgraded, like Masked Smith and Killer 7, where he just kind of successively gets stronger as he unlocks new masks. But one can only hope. But yeah, Mystery of the Bermudas. It went a good 10 minutes over my projected 10-minute mark, but damn it, this is important. Okay, so that brings us to Resident Evil 4 Remake. Resident Evil math. Let's, I hope he will. I think we need him now. El Hijo del Santo is with us, though. And El Hijo del Santo is a fantastic performer. If you would like to, if you're interested in seeing some quality 80s 90s lucha libre, if you can find footage of El Hijo del Santo, you will be in for a treat. So let me get chat up here. That's unmuted. So, yeah, as I said at the very beginning, this should be the final stream of Resident Evil 4 Remake. I've been going at a fairly slow clip. I think the only other game that... Evening Weed Lord. Cormac McCarthy. No, I saw the obituary, and I'm deeply saddened by it. Cormac McCarthy is one of my favorite, until he died, contemporary writers. I feel like he carries Faulkner forward in a way that is accessible and meaningful to modern audiences, and not just in terms of the prolix nature of his prose and his willingness to go deep into vocabulary and pull up something that the only time you'll ever look it up is when you're reading a Cormac McCarthy novel, those kinds of words. Also the sort of the darkness, the near nihilism, and the thin strains of hope. He sort of has that sort of Texan frontier despair added on, sort of aspect added to Faulkner's general sort of circular reflection style. But I would like to read his most recent two novels. But yeah, I'm sad that he has passed on. I think I'm sad for my sake that he has passed on. We've lost a wonderful writer, and I say I'm sad for my sake because I have no idea how he felt about it. He had some very novel thoughts on death. That's hard to that would be very hard to anticipate, which is one of the reasons why he's such a great surprising read. Oh man, yeah, Book of Lamentations actually pairs very well with McCarthy. I hadn't thought about that, but it does, and I think that you would find them. I think you would find that those books correspond with each other quite well. I need to finish reading Blood Meridian, which I got mostly through. Then life happened, and I put it down and never. I just couldn't rebuild the momentum to enjoy it as I had initially. But let's see. Let me mute the TV so I don't get weird echo. All right, and how do you feel? Yeah, hold on. Let me see if you getting it. Did it work again? Okay, good. Yeah, I bumped the wires a little loose. Interesting. Yeah, I've wondered that myself. I think, even though I myself did not grow up Catholic, having a background in medieval history, I feel, which a background in medieval history necessarily gives you some background in historical theology, which prepares you enough, I think, for to be able to appreciate the texture and the tone of stories that are deeply steeped in a Catholic perspective. I kind of feel like if you could enjoy Flannery O'Connor, whose Catholicism strongly influences her work, then I think that's a pretty good baseline, I want to say. Canticle for Leibowitz is my favorite science fiction novel. And for no small reason that it makes very smart use of medieval history. Yeah, yeah, the biblical weight. Yeah, that is I think that's a good read on it. So, I do have the rocket launcher, but I feel like I owe it to Krauser to use my knife, which I did not. Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can upgrade that knife for a faster swipe.
Welcome. What can I interest you in?
Okay. Oh, the attacks.
Knife needs care.
It is complete. What do I have equipped? Excuse me. Oh, it's not equipped. That's why. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. 7 in 1 strike. Yep. Yep, I agree. I'm really glad that you're digging it, and I'm really glad to get your take on the style too. All right, Krauser time.
I've been waiting for you, rookie. Oh, worried about the girl, is that it? That's just like you. You always had poor judgment.
I feel like this revisiting of Krauser's good.
If you think I'm gonna let you out of here alive, you're even more naive than I.
It's got that kind of evil Clint Eastwood sound.
Save her. You can't save anyone.
Give it up, Krauser. Being a lackey for these maniacs won't bring your men back. And what the hell for? Revenge on the government? You think they would want that?
Revenge. You think I'm doing all this for revenge?
Isn't that what this is all about?
See, in that jungle, I had a revelation.
Did they do a...
Most important thing in this world.
Oh, that's neat.
Pure,
When he says pure unadulterated power, he actually looks at his arm, which is gonna do the sort of like bird wing transformation. But yeah, I think they had a flashback with Leon and Krauser in one of the Wii shooter games.
Look at you now.
And if the sheep being turned into stone so that the church can be erected when the colonizers arrive, like that kind of biblical strange miracle event, there are several other instances of that.
Not like I have a choice.
That
What's wrong? Show no mercy.
yeah. All right, cool.
Where's your instinct?
Rocket launcher fight.
You better hustle. Who knows what's become of the girl?
I like seeing the context where hustle shows up. Hustle is like a high school sports word. Hustle's the sort of thing that your coach tells you to do. Oh. Where's he at? Oh wow. No, I just totally pieced out of a Krauser knife fight by hitting with a rocket launcher. Okay, I don't want to do that. I want to experience.
You remember the fight in the
this a little bit.
You barely made it out alive.
Go with your gut, don't think. That was the first thing you taught me.
Go with your gut, don't think.
Turn this place
That's,
into one big trap. I can't fight him on his terms.
turns out, like, I bet, like, Leon seems to have applied that thinking to conversation and banter as well. Ah!
Sloppy.
Aw, I was gonna catch him in his own trap. Oh my god, I've got so much stuff in here.
Ready to die, rookie.
In fact, not. How do I... Let's see. Oh, yeah, I'm just gonna do that. Oh, there's a trap. Oh. Well, you'll notice that Leon doesn't work in IT, so, that, I believe that brings a lot of credibility to your point, Shogi. Sloppy, is that an FF14 quip? Stella Maris and the Passenger. Are those are the new ones? Me of a few years ago would have definitely jumped on a Cormac McCarthy novel much faster than I have now.
Stranger to covert tactics, remember?
It's the kind of thing you hear from the shadows. It's like somebody screaming in your ear, "I'm stealthy!" Oh wow, okay. I didn't catch that my first playthrough. I think I was very much, that's the thing, is like I was very much into this Krauser moment, and I wasn't paying attention to the dialogue, and that one stands out.
I love a good hunt. Still alive, huh? You got lucky.
You screamed your position! Oh, I see. The only hacking we do around these parts is with a knife. There's that old Simpsons gag where Bart and Lisa are fighting with each other, and they don't want to hit each other, so Lisa's like, alright, I'm just going to kick my feet in front of me, and if you happen to run into it, you get kicked, and Bart just starts windmilling his arms, just said the same thing. And I think of that as like Leon's and Krauser's knife fight when I'm in control, because I'm just sort of swiping at it, and like, alright, if you get stabbed in the heart, that's on you.
Cowards and the careless alike. Which are you?
I don't know. Guess I'll ask when I see him.
Moving like that.
Well, you've really gone all out for me. You shouldn't have.
Anything to make a pretty boy feel special. You need to pick up the pace. Think about the girl.
Can I? Alright. I was really hoping I could parry the arrow, but seems not. If anybody can, it would be Leon. Alright, Shogi, it's great to see you. Have a great night. I'm glad you were able to come out. I guess Krauser is kind of a Rambo-like, isn't he? And thought about that. Ah! Sort of tormented soldier of an unpopular war, covert operation.
This is it, soldier.
All right, let's Oh.
Making mistakes.
I'm not falling for your mind games. You sure you don't need a breather? That Amir must be killing you.
Opening a new is the best way to forget an old one.
Wow, they're really calling a lot of attention to Krauser's arm in the dialogue here. Both when Krauser uses that as like a reference, like does the power reference, and Leon there. Oh.
You and me are two sides of the same coin. I guess that means we'll never see eye to eye. You've made it all this way. You haven't learned a thing. I have to say, I'm disappointed.
From you? I take that as a compliment.
When I've chosen different paths, all that's left now is to settle this the old-fashioned.
I was thinking the same thing.
Just use all my healing items in this one fight. That seems like that should be interruptible.
Wouldn't want to die with it open. Hardly. Look who's taking there, rookie.
Camera? What was that? Okay, I'm using all my healing items. I think I'm gonna get my ass handed to me in the final round, so I'm gonna redo that. Liquid Snake? Interesting. Here, just gonna... see if I can clear all this crap out.
This is it, soldier!
There we go.
Or losing. Making mistakes.
I'm not falling for your mind games. You're really doing this? It's not too late.
You and me are two sides of the same coin. I guess that means
Ah, why is that not canceled? Why is that not interruptible?
From you? I take that as a compliment.
You and I have chosen different paths. All that's left now is to settle this old fact.
I was thinking the same.
Oh wow, that got him to the next stage of the fight much more quickly
Done here, Krauser.
than
I told you. Again.
last time. These transformations always remind me, there's this one Looney Tunes gag. I want to say it might be Sylvester the Cat that does this. But, it's like a vaudeville show, and they're continually trying to upstage each other. And so finally, what he does is he says, "All right, this is my final trick." And so he gets center stage, stands in a bucket of gasoline, drinks a bunch of nitro, puts dynamite in his ears, and then lights a match and swallows it, and blows up. And everybody loves it. And they say, "That's the best trick I've ever seen in my life." He says, "Yes, it's amazing. The only downside is I can only do it once." Because, you know, of course, it kills him. That's what these transformations always feel like to me.
So that's your true power? Oh, I'd ask for a refund.
Like, I would wait for... Oh, wait. Oh, I've got a Killer 7. That's what I'm hitting him with.
Congratulations on your newfound faith.
Fight for the weak. Only power is real.
Oh, there we go. I don't think I noticed the atonal horns before. What? Where am I going? There we go.
I can't wait to see you ride.
Boop. Really? It's the like, so that the tentacle to the arm is like the is that like the cause of the arm transformation? I thought it was like a Las Plagas thing, or maybe there's like they blend.
Oh, shit.
Training's not done. Last lesson starts right now.
Oh, Krauser mutated his second arm without anybody seeing. Seems like a waste.
Teacher to be taught.
Oh, such confidence. Bring it, rookie.
What?
Are you ready, rookie? I'm not surprised you made it this far. Not bad. I didn't expect anything less.
Yeah, there we go.
I know your potential better than anyone. It's a damn shame you can't see the truth.
Like, guys, just let me parry everything. Ah.
Primitive body of yours.
Until the mission's finished, you'd have said the same once.
You need to stop living in the past.
This is the thing about, like, I feel this way about parry mechanics generally. Like, if you're going to let me parry some things, let me parry everything, especially if the window for signaling is this thin. Because then I either don't want to use it, because I don't know if I'm just fishing for, you know, getting smashed in the face. You know, it doesn't make sense to me. Also, if you're going to let me evade a thing and Leon's going to be turned around, turn the camera around.
than he ever was.
These are my gripes. Oh, I see.
My strength is without equal. Strength is everything.
Like that.
Weak can protect nothing.
I should be facing... My view should be facing wherever Leon is facing after change like that. I don't know. I can see myself being irritable at being disoriented.
And turn into a freak like you. You gotta be out of your mind.
Always trying to get the back. Come here. I'll beat the shit out of
What? Dude, climb the ladder. There we go. There we go.
you. What you have to do.
Wonder if Krauser could choose to stylize his tentacles like they did on like he does on the knife. That is something about his character design, treating his weapon as part of his character design that I like, because the sort of unexpected jagged edges of the blade, the snake on it, and everything, it really does reflect everything that he becomes with his mutations, and I like that. Now, this is interesting. I was expecting Leon to step away, because, you know, like, that's what the good guys always do, right? If there's an opportunity to finish off an enemy in cold blood, they say no and take the high road. And Leon does something different, and I'm glad that they didn't use that cliche for Krauser's ending. Do I get any... Well, I guess I don't get a cosmetic effect off of like a marble eye or lip gloss from Krauser. Just as nice, just as knife. Because yeah, I mean, using that moment as a look at Leon's character, there's either you could do a few things with that. One, this is who he is now, that he's capable of it, or this is the world that he and Krauser share, and to act differently would be to betray their relationship. I forgot that after getting the rocket launcher, at the end of last stream, that my handgun, I opted for the Killer 7 Magnum, so that's my pea shooter now.
Their defenses are no joke.
Wonder if I could hit him with a rocket launcher from here. Oh, I forgot the SD Perry novelizations.
That's gotta be their sanctuary.
I remember...
Ashley.
Oh, neat. I don't think I noticed before that Ashley is... oh, Ashley's sort of in a prayer posture as she's walking up there. Also, it looks like Leon can zoom in closer during a cinematic than I can regularly, so his binoculars have cinematic mode. I remember that, let's see. Whoa, I can fire it and then check and see how things turned out. All right, so let's try. I'm unclear what angles are here, because I'm firing straight ahead, but when I look straight ahead, the rocket is coming in from the left. So I'm going to aim at that guy generally, at that dude there on the side. Where did my rocket go? Okay. So here, let's just start with something as a reference point. Gonna aim at that little white spot. That light. Okay, so that bottom fluorescent light is that right there. So I want to hit at least one of them. If I aim slightly to the right of that, I should be able to catch those guys. So here's this. Here's that. A little bit higher. Got him! What? I absolutely should have caught that guy with some splash damage. Oh yeah! Headshot with a rocket at like a mile range. Yeah. Let me do it again. All right. I don't think I can hit anybody over there. Let's try this one more time. Oh, so close. Tougher stuff indeed. Not that guy, though. Should have been wearing a helmet. Oh, maybe I can hit that guy inside there. No? I'm actually kind of unclear how the aiming works, because in that instance I shot well to the left of that fluorescent light, and the rocket went to the right of it. Yes, Taco, exactly. So, Leon, how's it going? Just like... sending the president, like peace sign selfies of himself doing this. I mean, I got this exactly once, and for that, I'm very pleased. So, even if I don't hit another one, still net gain. Okay. Alright, there's a guy up above. There's a guy up above. Alright. Just a couple more. I promise. Oh, there's stairs over there. That's why. Alright. Alright, last one. I promise, last one. Ah, okay. Well, I have a save immediately before this. I am not overriding it. This is great. That's the sort of thing I didn't even know that existed. That's the sort of thing I'm super happy to find, but also super happy to catch on stream. It's important to share. I am interested that the angle changes when he goes into... Ah, Jesus. The angle changes when he goes into binocular view.
Easy work. Crossing your T's, dotting your I's. Don't get yourself killed now.
I want to believe you care, sir. Is that... That's the Krauser fight boss level. Excuse me.
What was that?
Yeah, just shooting at everybody now. Interesting, they changed Mike from a New Yorker to a Southerner. I mean, it still does that thing where it's like a dialectical, down home accessible personality, just with a different template. Ah! That's interesting. That makes sense as an explanation. I mean, also, I mean, Leon's view of the space is obscured by some of the layout, some of the landscape, because, you know, kind of the thing, one of the ways that they're communicating that he is spying on them is with that sort of like rock ridge that he can sort of plausibly hide behind. But that doesn't make sense for cinematic reasons.
Leave the area up ahead to me. Take a break before you join in on the fun.
Buddy, I got an infinite rocket launcher. Did I just shoot his rocket out of the air? Interesting. Oh, I'm excited about just destroying everything this time through. This was this area was rough. My first playthrough. I don't think I've come back here on professional yet.
Better get what he wants.
Wow. That was over very quickly. Wow. The impact killed those guys, but the shields remain. I think that says a lot in favor of those quality of those shields.
Bad news! I'm out of ammo! You'll have to handle this one on your own! Don't worry! You got this! Mitch won't even break a sweat!
I think there's a boar-headed guy somewhere up here that would be fun to kill with a rocket launcher. Wow. On entrance. I like how they modified the I don't even know what's blowing up anymore. The sequence's music from the original. Aw. He's basically fine. You're right. Not just unkillable, but unhittable. Yeah, on Pro they treat the military like a public school where you have to pay for your own supplies if you work there. All right. Yeah, it is a bit silly when they use that as the difficulty modifier because it does get really out of character for why Mike is there. Speaking of Mike not shooting anybody on Pro in the original. Yeah.
Here you go.
Let's see. Yeah. Cool, I won that shootout. Can you destroy the turrets? I thought they were set PC and that you couldn't take them out of the level. Oh wow, am I just juggling this guy? Yeah, I guess that's it. Yeah, Leon's like, you know what? I want to have enough money for lunch after this. Ha ha ha! That's the kind of like maniacal overkill that says New Game Plus. This rules. I'm gonna have to grab Swimmy and point him to the VOD for that rocket launcher headshot, which I must partially credit to him because he encouraged me to sell my precious bolt thrower for it. I think there's special money up there. Let me see what that looks like. By special money, I mean jewel drop. No, that was the only one of those guys that that showed up. Okay, cool. Like, this confuses me, because, like, Leon still has to get Ashley, but he's down for leaving the war zone or the mission. I feel like maybe there's either a hole in the story or I'm overlooking something. One wonders if Mike knew about those things going in, and if this is like his first encounter with the Novistadors. At all. Sort of like.
I'll make sure you're the next to go, Sadler.
Yeah. Those guys might be difficult to hit with a rocket launcher. But yeah, weaving the Novistadors into Sadler's sort of power and making them a little more central, I think is a good idea. And I like that they did it. I think it also is more... It's more dramatically potent, I think, for them to down Mike rather than Sadler just sort of shooting Mike down with a single rocket launcher, which could have happened at any point during the earlier combat sequence. You know, the Novistadors killing Mike is something that only Sadler could do, so that makes it. I think that makes it a little bit stronger. Cool. Evening, Swimmy. Swimmy, how recently did you join the stream? Because if it's just recently, there's something very important I want to direct you to. Okay, so I headshot somebody with the rocket launcher from like a mile distance. And I'm going to clip that and I'm going to show it to you because it rules. And partially, I would want you to see it anyway, but because you you encouraged me to sell my my precious bolt thrower for mine thrower, bolt gun, whatever it is in this game, for the rocket launcher, I feel that I owe that to you. Well, why don't I just shoot it? When I, oh, cool, you can do... Okay. Wondering, like, how low will it get before Leon's just like, no. Not gonna scrape my back against those spikes. There we go. Cool. I was also thinking, like, at the rate that the stream was going, this game has taken so many streams to. Hey. All right, you're fine. Squirm away, my friend. Whoops. That this rocket launcher is really picking up the pace. What I wanted to hit was this. First time I did this section, I sneaked. Aw. Well, you squirmed your last squirm. I snuck through the area without triggering any of the regenerators. Actually, Swimmy, I'm curious. We come from the same sort of like linguistic background. Would you say sneaked or snuck? As in, I snuck through this area, or I sneaked through this area? Get away from the explosion. Cool. Yeah. Something that this rocket launcher actually reminds me graphically of the rocket launcher that shows up in God Hand, and like part of me wishes that Leon had the animation where after he fires a rocket, he would just like take the empty the rest of it and just dang 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 bonk them on the head. Well, yeah, I always default to snuck. That's really useful, Swimmy. I have been corrected into sneaked many times, and still, it never takes hold. Yeah. Pardon me. Pardon me. Yep. Yep. Out of my way. And roll. What is this? It's a drill. With a wall outlet. With an outlet. Power supply. Oh no, okay. So the drill has, looks like the drill is battery powered and the battery recharge unit is there.
I have some new goods that might welcome. I've got something new for you. Crossing your T's, dotting your I's. That's the way to be. Thank you.
Yeah, let's
Anything else? Don't get yourself.
let's get this bangle, splendid bangle, ready to go.
Self-kill, welcome. A deal well struck. See how that feels, mate. Came into some other
Excuse me.
jobs too, mate. Come back anytime.
Because the reason I ask you in particular is we've spoken on several occasions about Southern uses of words that you know, it's just sort of like dialectical nuances, and I have been told that my preference for snuck is a regional thing.
Ashley, I'm coming.
Thank you. Ah. I wish I had something I could attach this scope to, but I don't. Oh, that's a laser sight. Splash damage on mine is bigger. Great. Even though I've got this very overpowered rocket launcher, I still find this area very frightening because it scared the devil out of me when I was playing through the first time. Yeah. Ha. Thank you for the emerald. Hey. Gonna say fairly liberal use of pray and spray and pray. Awesome. I have a resource to check and share with you after you share this. Hard to tell if Leon is covering his eyes from the explosion or the gore spray. Who do I hear breathing? Is that upstairs? Other side of this door? No, that didn't do it. Alright, I'm gonna go upstairs. And go around. It's interesting that the attested version is a weak verb, but there's a strong verb form that that showed up colloquially. Oh, hold on one second. I might be thinking of a different word, but I want to check something. old friend and companion. A concise Anglo-Saxon dictionary. This is a well-loved book. So let's see here. Snas, spit, skewer. Interesting. Sneathon, snuff. What is sneathon? Thrilling dictionary stream action here. Okay, no. So sneathon, which is not. I mean, I'm looking at similar verbs, right? And that have the same kind of strong verb usage, like sneathon, which is a word that doesn't really have a modern descendant, meaning to cut, lance, cut off, amputate. Very Viking word. Has a third-person preterite third-person singular of snath. So that's your strong verb, sort of conjugation, and that's the sense in which I use snuck, as in he snuck. It's a preterite form. Snaden, snailon, to hasten. Interesting. Sneewan, to snow. That's interesting. Snailwan is to hasten. Sneewan is to snow. Wonder what snail... Well, I'll look at that later. I'm thinking of stelan, which is to steal, and the third-person preterite of that is stealth. So stealth is exactly the third-person preterite of the word to steal in Old English. So, how about this? Snyflung, Snyflung, mucus from the nose, from which we get sniffle and sniveling. So snyflung. I haven't pronounced this in a while. Snytan. Snytan, to blow the nose. So S-N-Y, long Y-T-A-N. Snytan, so snot. Snot is an ancient word. Anyway, back to this. Interesting. Sneak on. I'll poke around for that later and see what I find. But yes, well, it also it's interesting because, you know, some of the most organic forms of linguistic innovation happen away from halls of learning, which you know, both for their which are known for their gatekeeping, and the way that they gatekeep is by controlling language and what language is you know, has power, but also by, let's see, let's put you there. I don't have any green herbs. It's ridiculous. But that also sort of calcifies it. You know, standardization keeps it fixed. There we go. Yeah, that cleared out some space. Who do I hear up here? Do I hear one of those blind stabby guys? don't know where you are, but I'm going to keep this running fireball in front of my face so you can't approach me. There you are. Wow, the shockwave off that rocket really stunned it at a great distance. Well, Dan, that's my brand. Brand. No, it's funny on my the YouTube channel where I put all of the my old video essays and stuff like that. I went and revised its channel description recently because it's not, nothing that I've done has been influencer driven. Influencing didn't properly exist when I started doing video criticism, and it's a place where I've got some of my most important work. And where I throw a bunch of junk. Congratulations, you found me. One of us has an infinite boomstick. Yeah, I am super happy to have any opportunity to break out the Old English Dictionary. Oh, neat. I wonder if that's supposed to be something that I can do to get enemies off my tail if I'm being chased. Can I? No? Let me do that. Just checking.
You have come, my child. What do you want?
I simply wish to share this gift with as many as possible. A humble wish.
I feel like RE4 Remake Sadler's face has kind of a Dilbert's boss feel to it. I guess the nose and the chin.
Are already one with us.
Bullshit.
I think because the nose is so exaggerated.
Why do you reject serenity when you need only accept the sacred gift? Like she did.
Sadler?
Ah, yes,
I like how RE4 Remake Sadler has this sort of like, really does have the manic cult, has that manic cult energy. And I'm very much looking forward to playing this battle with these Separate Ways DLC when it comes out. Unless it already has come out and I'm oblivious. Alright, Dan. It's great to see you. I'm glad that you were around at least for the etymological excursion.
Ashley.
Surprised that with this level of sway, Ashley's not bonking her head on like every piece of lab equipment.
Looks like it's this way.
Like Corsica in Hi-Fi Rush. I think that this section is neat, and I feel like it's interesting. It kind of feels like delivering on the promise of a hallucinating Leon that was teased in the very, very earliest RE4 footage, where Leon was hallucinating and being chased by a sort of insect covered maniac with a hook. Wonder what speedrunners do with this. If this is skippable or if this is just a source of hand-wringing.
God damn it.
I've returned your daughter only slightly concussed, and I brought you this fine array of fish. Leon, you've outdone yourself. Really? Oh, cool. I forgot that's a good moment to give the player a little poke of interaction to cap that off.
This time, it has to be different.
Interesting, Taco. I think when he says this time it has to be different, I think he's referring to like his memories of losing Ada.
Like I told you, I'm gonna get you home safe.
But Ada turned out fine. Yeah, Dan. There are moments in like in GDQ and the like when they hit sections where there's really nothing to be done so far as the speedrun community knows, and it's like, all right, this is a good time for donations. But you know, like in their non-charity runs, that they're probably Sonic tapping the foot because there is. They're only their thoughts to fill that void. Oh, interesting. Operation Darkside would be a fun game to play on stream. Or maybe at least that episode as a sort of a follow-up to RE4. Alright, I want to play more with that rocket launcher. So I'm going to save on that file. And I think we're at the final chapter. I'm right
here.
That's the same,
I thought you were gonna die.
same chair arrangement that I think they had Solid Snake on when he was in Ocelot's torture room in MGS1 with that the sort of the circle of lights overhead.
Yeah. Yeah, I did this.
What is that?
Understand?
Ashley's necklace. Like a bird of some sort?
The map?
Yeah, I found it. I think it says we can get out if we go this way. Hey, we're a team, right?
Keep this up, I'll be out of a job.
I do like this arc of growth for Ashley in the remake.
Removing the parasites. This was weeks.
Yeah, we're alive. Thanks to him.
The growing into confidence and becoming a special agent. Did they expand? I don't know if this was a mod or what, but I kind of remember seeing Ashley playable in Mercenaries.
Sorry.
Like I said, we're a team.
Like, I really admire the casual upper body strength that everybody in this universe has. Not just to be able to give somebody a boost, but to be able to grab the bottom long end of a ladder and pull themselves up to the top. Because if I'm out of shape, and haven't been working out for a while, that is definitely not on the table. Like, I mean, at this point, since I've been using the rocket launcher almost exclusively, I imagine Ashley has probably heard me during her lucid moments.
Look at this place. That woman who helped us. You think she's alright?
Oh, I'm sure she's fine. She's not the type to roll over that easy.
Sounds like you know her well.
Well, Ashley, I hope you've enjoyed having your hearing, because that part of your life is in the past now. Interesting. Yeah, I saw the eagle, and the first thing I think when I see a bird as a decoration in a Resident Evil game is I think I know that Claire's jacket says "Made in Heaven" and it's an angel, but I feel like there's a bird somewhere in there. Maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe it's just an angel. Like Ashley, Ada, the merchant. Everybody knows Leon's within the, everybody knows Leon's on the island. They can just track him by the explosions. Okay, the
Got
Phoenix.
some rare things on sale.
That must be what I'm thinking of.
Soldier.
Yeah.
Why not try your hand? Better to be over prepared. Am I right?
Yeah.
See how that feels, mate. Fella might want to take care of any leftover errands before going this way. Be ashamed to leave. What if?
Wow, he doesn't flinch at all when he's... Oh.
Ashley,
Whoops. Sorry, Ashley. Here you go. Just, firing my rocket launcher infinitely. I didn't know they were both Queen songs. I also like how Leon can just, like, walk outside, pick this thing up, and just turn around and sell it to him.
Take a look. Well,
All within sight,
what you buying?
as if this guy couldn't himself have walked out there and picked that up on his own without buying it.
Leon, look! Is that...
Ada.
I haven't watched the CGI movies. I saw one where Chris and Leon had a, I think it's called Gun Fu style fight, where Leon was being very roly and deft with a sidearm, and Chris was doing a lot of skewering with a bayonet and shooting with a rifle. Something with an airport?
Ada!
That's the last one I've seen. Huh.
Sadler!
That's a great delivery.
You have forsaken only body. The bright dirt to become one with us.
Before I kill Sadler probably very quickly with the rocket launcher, I do want to run around a bit and let him monologue. Because he's got so much to say. Give me 1 second, Sadler. Gonna arrange some stuff. Actually, here we go. Let's get this ready to present to the president. Let's get. Yeah, let's eat. No, we're bringing fish and poultry home, so the egg stays. You know, I can drop these. And let's see. What can I craft? Could do a flash grenade. So I just at least want to get the fish all in a row. Just something that's going to make sense to the president. The man's busy, full of briefings. He's got to be able to see in a glance that I've got a ton of fish. And that mission has paid off. Oh, I'm going to eat the snake. He hates reptiles. That would have been really cool, Taco. Yep. I've been so every time when I played this seriously, I was so busy like fighting Sadler that I didn't listen to any of his monologuing. I was just so sort of generally aware that there was a lot of it. Oh.
Thanks for the sermon, Father. You know, I'm gonna have to ask for forgiveness when this is all over. Because I'm about to kill.
Huh. I didn't know Leon had a quip there at the end. In my heart, I kind of wish he said, "Because I'm about to slay." And I don't know, some sort of air guitar. I guess that wouldn't work given everything's been established by him, about him, but... Oh, wait, no, there's more. Oh, wow. Is it just one shot? Holy crap. They just, like... That it really is kill everything with one shot. I thought that, you know how sometimes, like, your ultimate weapon in a game, like, the boss has, like, 3 HP more than that? I thought it might, like, take at least, like, 2 shots. Yeah, I like that the fact that Leon has an attaché case full of fish, Taco. Like, that's the point at which the merchant becomes judgy.
I'll give you a holy body.
So, I feel like the subtitles miss an opportunity to spell it H-O-L-E-Y, but the delivery it sells it. Huh. I don't think I played OG RE4 with the rocket launcher very much. So I didn't know that.
Ida,
This is where your
what the hell are you doing?
tag team partner turns heel.
Nothing personal, Leon. Luis and I had an arrangement. Don't worry, I'll take good care of it. Ride's here. You coming?
I think we both know this. This is where we go our separate ways.
Oh, hey! DLC title in the dialogue.
I see.
I like that they kept the teddy bear keychain.
Next time, Leon.
So, me, does the teddy bear... Is the teddy bear anything other than just like an ironically cute accessory?
Where's she going?
Who knows?
I don't understand. Why would she just...
We gotta move. Island's gonna blow.
It's gonna what?
Yeah. Okay, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Do I get attacked here? I forget.
Now we can go home.
We're not out of here yet.
Don't have a flashlight, so I'm just going to shoot and guide myself with the light of my explosions.
Thank you.
They're nothing now their master's gone. It's over for them.
Also, I just blew them up in a pretty major way for their lunch money. I like that they brought this interaction back from RE2. No, wait, no, they did this they did this earlier when we were escaping from the church.
All right. Not bad, Ada.
Tentacles still wiggling? Tentacles still wiggling. Just wanna... It seems like an oversight to leave those things alive.
You like thrill rides? You're gonna love this.
Is that a callback to oh wow, maybe I should have hustled with 30 seconds left. Is that a throwback to Leon's alright, accelerate, there we go. Like throw up line on the what do you call it? Can't think of words. Rip us. I thought that as I was reaching that ramp with that second count, with the seconds counting down, I thought like, oh wow, they really scaled the length of that canal, of that tunnel sequence to the climactic countdown. But no, I just wasn't fast enough.
You're gonna love this.
Bury me with my rocket launcher. May your years be as infinite as its kabooms. I died several times on this. Oh, well, there goes Leon's frontal cortex. Died several times during this escape sequence. My first time I played through. See, Hi-Fi Rush had a moment where, like, you had to time a bunch of inputs at a very dramatically intense moment. And it basically made it to where you can't fail. You just get something a little bit cooler if you hit it all right. And I feel like that's the way to go. If you got a climactic moment where... climactic moment, everything that you just accomplished is sort of riding on it. You know, don't take all that away from the player. Let him succeed, just give him the chance to succeed and feel a little cooler.
You alright?
I'm not sure, that was insane.
Well, I guess that answers the question as to whether or not the Plagas are left alive, huh?
Mission accomplished, right?
Mission accomplished. When you're home safe.
Thank you for saving me.
Don't mention it.
Where's Leon's knife?
You know, I could put in a word with my dad. Have you assigned to my detail, if you're interested?
You don't need me. You proved you could handle yourself. Even if you could use a lesson in knife safety. Come on.
That's such a smart way of taking the flirtatiousness of Ashley's line, that's sort of that tone from the original, and folding it into her her character arc of growth. We're like using that to reinforce her empowerment, and I like that. I think that's very smart. I found the outro of the original RE4 very affecting. I think that they've kept that with RE Village. I don't know if they did something similar like that with RE7. I don't remember. But Village, you know, has Village feels very RE4. So carrying that over makes a lot of sense. Probably the most harrowing of the images from the oh, hey, there he is. There's the big cheese. In the OG game's outro is after the Plagas have started to set in, and the villagers are sort of maniacally stewing things in a pot or whatever. And they're just like a couple of kids sitting in high chairs, staring forward, like just sort of vacantly. And you know, there are obviously no kids in the games for obvious reasons. But the fact that they were there then, they're sort of comatose, and then you know you don't see them again. That's a very that fills in a gap that's very dark. Interesting. Yeah, I hadn't thought about it from that angle.
Patch me through.
Pardon me.
I've obtained the amber.
Excellent.
Just one question. What are you planning to do with this?
I do not pay you to ask questions. All you need to know is a new dawn is breaking. 100 will give their lives so that just one may live. I am expediting that change.
So, we're talking millions of casualties.
Billions.
Wesker's at home base just
How ambitious.
Weskering.
We're changing course now.
I do admire the optimism of having taking a ski-doo out to sea. I guess the islands. I mean, just yeah. It took a modern motorboat to get out there. I hope that the island isn't that far enough away that Leon could make it back. Oh, I didn't know about that. Who did DC Douglas voice?
I remember those lost in the dark, the bullet or the blade that kept us apart. But I've been moving on, can't be still for long, 'cause it's the only
Was he Wesker? Excuse me.
never ache for a place called home. Can't hold on so tight, gotta let it all go. I have a purpose, it's all that I need to help me find my way every day.
Well done, localization team.
Don't be drawn into the
Solid work.
shadows in your head. Keep your eyes on
Oh wow.
and don't ever look back. Don't ever look
I didn't know that. I haven't tracked Resident Evil's voice actors. Yeah, that's a shame.
it's gonna be fine. Don't ever look back.
But yeah, man, don't break NDA. It never ends well.
I fought a war and I learned how to win. But how do you fight when the enemy's within? Find your pride, go deeper inside for the fire that will light your way. The ones you trust can one day betray. You're the hunter and then you're the prey. You pay the cost, it all feels lost. Then you hear a voice inside you say,
Holy cow, that's a lot of Ganado voices. Wow.
keep your eyes on the road ahead.
I didn't know they had that that much variety. Because I can just kind of remember hearing like the same voice clips over and over again, and those are the ones that I keep in my mind. But maybe those were different voice actors saying it slightly differently. Yeah, I noticed they shifted to non-union starting with RE2 Remake. This year has, I like how this year has been just like, shifting, like just kind of like passing the mantle of probable game of the year as the year has gone on. So, at the beginning, Hi-Fi Rush, despite its popularity with people who are sort of like long-standing gamers, I think probably is a little more niche than the kind of widespread appeal that a Game of the Year award winner might take. But It's certainly a contender for a nomination. But then came RE4 Remake, which everybody was like, okay, well, this is it. Then came Tears of the Kingdom, and everybody's like, oh, yeah, this is it. And one can only imagine what August will bring at that rate. Even though I probably putting more hours into Tears of the Kingdom than either this or Hi-Fi Rush, I still think that Hi-Fi Rush is probably my game of the year. I think there are 2 votes for that. One, the most game of the year game, and the other is my personal. And Hi-Fi Rush is that. Oh, FF16. Has that come out yet? I don't pay attention to Final Fantasy news much anymore. I kind of lost track around... What was the big one? Final Fantasy Road Trip game. Anyway, 14? 15? I don't know. Anyway, I've lost track of Final Fantasy. So, I don't know much about what's going on in that world. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I got 15, like the deluxe edition of 15 on sale at one point. And every time I pick it up to play, I'm just looking at this, like, JRPG abyss of time to spend on a game, and I'm like, I don't know if I spiritually have it in me to do that again for another RPG. Yeah. I'm sure I would love it, but just the JRPG at this point is a very, very big ask. Because there's also Final Fantasy VII Revisited Part 2, I think. Is that coming out this year? Yeah, it would be interesting to take one of these like very big sprawling games that are trying to, I guess, mimic the scope of like, you know, an MMO offline, and to like give you like an optimal path, right? Because if I'm playing Final Fantasy 15, I'm probably doing it so I could get a sense of what, I mean, just like what the big deal is, which is almost certainly going to have a big narrative component. And so something that guides me through the mainline story quests and also the right side quests I need in the right order. Something like that in the game would be rad. And maybe it's in there and I don't know.
Good work.
All right. Solid B. What does that say at the bottom? Oh, bingo. Bingo Friday at 10 p.m. Book club next Sunday. Dispatch Chopper. She's got dispatched underlined. I can only... I wonder what snafus led to a different verb being in that slot. So, yeah. Resident Evil 4 Remake. Where's my... No, that's my very first save. I always save those. New playthrough. Yeah. Cool. So, yeah. What is it? Oh, 5 enemies with a Magnum. Yeah, I finally used the Magnum as a main weapon. That's Resident Evil 4 Remake. I don't know what game we're going to stream next. I need to think on it, part of me wants to do a retro like Echo Knight Beyond. But I've had a few other games I've played lately that I think would be very cool to do that with. But I'll think on it. But in the meanwhile, thank you everybody for coming out. Swimmy, Taco, Rin. I'm sorry, I saw your I saw your message, but didn't see who wrote it. Rin, thank you for coming out. Yeah, I will be back on Wednesday of next week, and I hope you all have a good week. So, have a good night.